Hello and welcome to the Talk podcast. This is something that I've been wanting to do for quite some time, so if I'm a bit rough with the whole podcast, then please excuse me. So, for those who probably do know me, I am Finn, based on the YouTube channel Finn Haley-Hughes, which is Finn, that's for Finn, and then Haley-Hughes is HALEY-HUGHES. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, as well as TikTok via that name. Now, in terms of a podcast, you can also follow the podcast as well through Instagram at Talk Podcast Show. And we do have a Talk Podcast Clips channel also on YouTube, which basically picks out the most interesting parts. So basically, to kick off episode number uno, the first thing I want to talk about is essentially who I am. So my name is Finn. I live in West Yorkshire of the United Kingdom. And I am a complete addict to anything around the automotive industry. Anything to do with cars will go into my brain and I will be settled for life. I am a crazy person on that side. So I am 18. Some friends will know me for this, but I have a complete addiction to cars. It's not like an addiction that's like it's a problem. It's like, well, I do have a slight addiction, which I will talk about later on in the podcast. That may or may not become a little bit of a problem. Yeah, basically, my addiction to cars is something that I absolutely love, but it's something that is out of control. And because I love doing it, I can't help myself stop doing what I love. It's like a passionate addiction, as well as obsession, as well as a bad influence, all on myself. Another thing that's about me, which I think you would like to know, or maybe like you should know before watching these podcasts, is that I suffer from a severe stammer, which you can tell, as well as I have mild cerebral palsy lapsed on top of my stammer. I think at some point I will probably make a whole podcast based around me as a whole, because there is a lot to actually go through in terms of who I am in full detail, and I think it's something that some people may find really interesting, but some people may not find that very interesting because they're more focused on what's featured in the podcast rather than who's doing the podcast, or maybe actually there are some people actually who are like, actually your podcasts are like really entertaining, but I mostly watch the podcasts because of you. So we'll just have to see how this podcast thing plans out. Whether I do popular on it, or if if people just like me overall. I mean, I don't see much of a reason why people should like be really into me. But anyway, let's kick things off, because the first thing that I want to talk about is YouTube cancel culture, or just YouTube cancellations as a whole. Because if you haven't heard what's been happening in the past week, a lot of cancellations have been happening around YouTube, and I just wanted to basically have my own take on this thing. So everyone knows about cancel culture by now. And for those who don't know what it is, basically it's when a popular person ends up getting caught doing something that's maybe like really bad, or just something, anything that's related to that. Is what's called a cancellation, and it can be clearly shown through the YouTube channel's views, their subs, whether they're losing any and they're going downhill, whether they've found out that there is something bad in like a whole bunch of videos they've made, so they've gone onto the list of videos that they've made, and then they've just decided to break away 1 billion views worth of videos just to almost like try and not get caught. But even with that, they will get caught. And one of the main victims over the past week, Shane Dawson. Personally, I think Shane Dawson is actually quite an interesting person, quite a quirky person as well, and I think he has a lot out going for him. He's got his makeup partnership with Jeffree Star. He has his merchandise, which he also just launched around the same time as the makeup. He's done lots of collabs with lots of people, and I firstly caught my attention to Shane through his, what is it, like 8 or 9 part documentary on Jake Paul, and I found every episode to be very interesting, but it also seemed to be a bit full of crap. But the way he makes his videos is why I get really interesting, because you get filled in with so much tension and so many emotions that that make you as the audience so connected and linked up with Shane. And I think that's just amazing, especially when you're trying to break out and make interesting YouTube content these days. It's fantastic. Anyway, and that aside, so we can't talk about this on YouTube because it's something pretty down bad. But the whole cancellation thing that he's been involved with over last week, it's been insane. Just to give you some context without me having to explain on YouTube, he's been doing things they should not be doing with underage people. That's the furthest I will go. So clearly that is bad. That is something that I think everyone is shocked by. I mean, there's been some people as well who have been comparing this cancellation to James Charles' cancellation, but this is on a completely different scale. The thing with James Charles with his was that in the reality, what was actually going on there was that his own mother, Tati, was trying to expose him and basically her, as well as Jeffrey as well. And I think Shane was kind of involved, but not really. They decided to basically expose him and put him on a right-on attack. Now, this has something to do with the makeup community and but basically the whole makeup area of this world, where the makeup industry ends up trying to do whatever they can so that they can get on top. And that's what everyone else was trying to do to take James Charles, who at the time was by far one of the most popular, taken down. And in the first part, that worked. He lost about 3 million subs in about 2 or 3 days. And he really went downhill. But this was for the wrong reason. Actually, what they were doing is putting a massive attack on him. And in reality, it was all fake news. So if we transfer that 1 year later, he's now gone back up to where he would usually be. Everyone's alright with it. Shane Dawson is a different area. Shane Dawson is a different area of this world. Everything that James Charles has done that basically people like Tati exposed him for, it wasn't exactly accurate, and it was more done through the views and the opinions of those people. Whereas with Shane's issues, the reason he got cancelled this week was mainly to do with the fact that what he did essentially was actually not good. and it was true because it was shown with clear evidence of his past videos of the last, was it 12 to 15 years he's been on YouTube. And as a result of that, to actually pile more herbs and spices into the mix, he lost 1 million subs within a week, and as to add even more mixture to the dish, he decided to delete a massive 1.3 billion views worth of his past videos. He deleted all of that, and you can really tell because it's all shown on the social plate. And yeah, it is a really bad way to go, and there's no way, in fact, that he is clearly up there. He has made a video recently, and he did just right away without any sort of mucking about, which is what YouTubers do these days. He just went right up and apologized. And even if he's done that to the major audience, nobody cares about that. Nobody. But I do have at least some respect for him for actually acknowledging the fact that he did actually do something that he really wasn't really meant to. So I do, as much as I think it, yes, all those things he's done is just really bad, and I think he should have like something to do with like trying to sort out what he's done. Yet again, I'm realising this was pretty much a decade ago, and Shane now he's nearly 32. So yeah, there isn't really a way that he can actually get out of this, and I think that's why he just did that video just to explain what he's done wrong, and just right out to say, look, I did this, I'm a pain, I know. So I think we should give it at least some respect for actually doing that. So I am on with everyone else just going, do all. This is, no. This is not nice. But you have to at least give it at least like 1% respect and some credit for him, just for once again, I might be repeating this, but just for acknowledging the fact that he did a massive oopsie, and that he really does not. Wait, what am I trying to say? He really does regret doing what he did in the past. Bear in mind, what he did in the past, he was more likely the age of someone like Logan Paul when he did his big mistake, which was doing things in the forest. But yeah, so but it's also like a little bit of slack there, because once again, when he did things like that, he was at a more younger, more age where he was probably more likely going to be doing things like that, regardless if it was right or if it was wrong. But once again, time has flown by. He's not in his early 20s anymore. He's 30. He's 31, going up to 32. So, yeah. It's a very mixed conversation to actually go with, and going different sides is... this is one of those things where if you put things into like little details, like what I've just done, you do kind of like mix left and right with like going like, yeah, he's done a really awful thing, let's just shame Shane. Or like, yeah, I know you did bad things, but we have to give him at least some respect for acknowledging the fact that he did a massive oopsie. And then it just swipes left and right, left and right, left and right. And it's just a big mixture. But it's going to be a huge load of half of people who are not going to like what he did. And there's going to be half that will at least respect the fact that he's acknowledged it. And it's also shown through his video when he did his so-called apology. And the video's got like nearly 600,000 likes, but then nearly 400,000 dislikes. And it does clearly show those separate sides. So I think I might be more on the respectful side, just because I know that in the end of it, at the end of the day, he did a really bad thing, but as an overall, he isn't really a bad person overall. He just did loads of really awful things, more likely going to be for views and for entertainment. And then, 10, 15 years down the line, that's where it's heading. Moving else down the line, we've got Elon Musk. For those who don't know Elon Musk, surely you must have heard of his name, because he is someone who is very high up on almost every piece of human nature's social platforms. I don't know where I'm going with this. Anyway, You must have heard his name somewhere because he is the CEO and founder of Tesla. He's got a partnership in SpaceX. He recently did that partnership to be the first customer to send people up into space. He likes memes, I know that. He's been hosted on Meme Review on the PewDiePie's channel. And just as an overall, because of things like that, he's just a big blow up of everything that people like. Memes, cars, space, aircraft, funny memes. So of course he's part of he's part of a foundation, and of course being the CEO of Tesla. Now, for those who don't know, at the moment, Tesla has 4 models that you can buy: the Model S, the Model E and 3, the Model S, and the Model Y. The Model S is more of a 4-door saloon or sedan. The Model 3 is basically the same, but whereas the Model S is 100 grand, the Model 3 is at a more respectable 35 to 40,000. The Model Y, the S is basically the SUV range for the Tesla range, and the Y is basically a mixture between the S and the Y. It's like a smaller Model S, but with some foundations from the S. And as an overall, you make S3. Let's take that into E. So S3 XY. Sexy. And if he intended to make that happen like that, I think he must have some balls. Anyway, he's recently launched, out of nowhere, I don't even know why he did this, but it's just amazing. Elon Musk is the pinnacle reason as to why memes exist, because he created his own pair of shorts, or I'm not sure exactly what he could call them, but like shorts, or like like a really short shorts that like a really short shorts that most but basically where you've got like that much of the actual knee bit, and then you've got a crotch, it's like really short shorts. Anyway, too much detail. He's made one of that, and because of the memes, he's put his own model range, sexy, on the back of the shorts, so they are basically on your butt. And then he's listed them up for $69.420. Now, can someone explain to me what the hell? Now, clearly. Oh wait, did I see that? Oh yeah, can't tell me. Sorry, $69,420. He had to put the memes of 69 and the memes of 420 ablazing. Why don't the price range of his brand new shorts that say S3XY on your ass? I think it's probably one of the most ingenious ideas, but also the meanest and most ridiculously cool things I've probably ever seen from the person who owns a so-called car manufacturer that actually just makes batteries. And that's the thing that some people actually don't get. Tesla is not actually a car company. What they actually do is they make batteries, okay, but they use cars. They also do make the cars themselves, but the cars are only an advertisement part of their batteries. So their main focus is the batteries, and they are using cars to advertise what their batteries are made of. So that's a fact that you may not know about. And then on to the last thing which I want to talk about. Explaining my addiction. Now, this is no ordinary addiction. This is not the car addiction. It's based on the car addiction, but it's not proper cars. I'm looking over there because my addiction's over there. My addiction is also to do with these. If you can see them. I have a brand new addiction to buying model cars. Not even real cars. I can't afford a real car at the moment. I've got an addiction to buying model cars. Not like, well, these ones, like these. These were amazing for when I was, when I was over the age of 10 and I just wanted to own a model car. That's when these were nice. Things have changed, however. These things I could buy for about £24. And then I could sell them on eBay for like five to £10. Regardless of what model they are. Or who they are made by. This one's made by Meister in China. That's another thing. I'm gonna try and not buy any other diecast models from China because I've just realised there's far better quality places to go to. One of them is AutoArt. And I will admit, that's the latest purchase I have done. It's also the most expensive. The good news is that the value is not going to go down at all. If anything, it's either going to keep the value at the price range I bought for it, or it's gonna or the value's gonna increase depending on what what the currency range is like in the UK, because that's another problem. But we don't talk about politics, things like that, especially on this podcast. So my Centenario Roadster costed £274. It's a bit much. But for the quality that you pay for such a model of it, I'm just looking at it because every time I look at it, I just think that is a beautiful model car. And here's where my addiction lies. The moment I bought that, I've gone eager to keep on buying more. I haven't bought any left because I've been trying my absolute best to keep myself away. Currently, I'm looking at many cars. I've also found another model car brand that Mulders Models. So the difference between die-cast models, which is one that I just bought, and resin, is that die-cast cars are made out of a certain type of metal, and you can also apply composite models as well to die-cast ones. Composites are like die-casts, but they are made from like a cheaper material. Anyway, die-cast cars are mostly made of metals, and they have open parts. So it's like you can open the doors, you can open up a bonnet or boot, or whether you want your frunk, your boot, your trunk. Have a look inside and look at the engine. You can open a rear wing if a car has a rear wing, and just things like that. Resin models are completely fixed seal models, so you can't open any parts with it, and the models are made of plastic rather than metal. But the difference is that although the metal cars for die-cast models, if you pay for the right amount, and if you are looking at the right car type and the right car brand, AutoArt I would recommend, because the detail on my Lamborghini Centenario Roadster, which is what I bought, the detail is absolutely fantastic, and there's nothing wrong with it. Each of like the panels that you can open, they are a little bit fragile, but they are very sturdy, and they just feel so nice. And here's why my addiction is so bad. It's so bad that because of how well these models are, it's got into my brain that I need to buy more of them. So at the moment, I'm looking at a Ford GT. I'm looking at a Ferrari F60 America. I'm looking at a Pagani Huayra Roadster, Pagani Zonda HP Barchetta. I'm also looking at a Ferrari SF90 with a track pack. I'm looking at a Ferrari 250 Testarossa. I'm looking at Aston Martin Vanquishes. I'm looking at Nissan GTR R32 Skylines. I'm also looking at Koenigseggs. I'm also looking at what else was it? Oh yeah, a Ferrari 488 Pista in a chameleon paint job. And the one in the chameleon paint job is €400. I have a problem. So if anyone has any ideas on how I can slow down my pace, because I do find these things to be really nice and interesting, but if someone has an idea for me to slow my pace in buying so many models, please contact me in the comment section down below, please. Anyway, that's everything for the first ever episode of a talk podcast. I think I'm pretty much set here. We've been talking about so many things. We've been talking about memes, talking about Elon Musk. We've been talking about cancel culture, who I am, and we've also been talking about my addiction. All of those are listed up on my laptop, which is right here. You can't really see it because it's down there. So yeah, hopefully this episode goes really well, and if so, I'd like to thank Venus for watching this entire podcast. If you like what you see, then please subscribe to our channel. Hit like if you do like it. Hit dislike if you think I am utter garbage. Apart from that, I am gonna go out because I need to make another video from my official Finn Haley-Hughes channel to talk about the differences between the Dorian Motors Lycan Hypersport and the Fendir Super Sport. So yeah, okay. See you later.